Hey everybody, it's Axel with Golden Acorns, where we help guide your growth in 12 key areas of life. Stuff like learning, travel, finances, and more. So we're going to bring simple, actionable ideas to help move you guys forward with purpose. So let's plant some seeds of potential and grow a life you love. Please share and enjoy.
So you want to talk about something fun today?
I do. So we started doing something. Night times are really easy to waste. I'll say with your kids, just it's easy to be like everyone does their own thing or whatever. Instead of
especially when they're older, like ours are.
When they're younger, they kind of demand your attention more. But ours, if we're not careful, all of a sudden we're like, where have they been for 2 hours? And it's very easy to be on media or talking with their friends on, their tablet or something. But I think it was your idea to do like the family memory night.
Oh, yeah. It's so fun.
Yeah, because we're like, we do family game night or, sometimes those end badly.
Yeah.
Or like the kids are like, let's do family movie night. And it's like, that's great because we're together, but it's not as quality time and engaging, right? So I love that idea. You did like, let's do family memory night. And I'm going somewhere with this. But so we did it the other night, and it's family memory night is where you just like log into like your old pictures.
Something that we never do, right? It's like, especially now in this digital age, we have thousands
oh my God
of videos and pictures on our phones. And we never look at them.
I'll give props to our youngest, Sloan. She has always been like just infatuated and in love with like she'll look through other people's pictures. She just will scroll through pictures and loves like the experiences and living through that. And so sometimes she'll get in our phones and just like, she wants to go back to old pictures and just look at them. And so I got to give her props for this, but every time she does that, and you're like, if you start looking at them, all of a sudden you're hooked because you're just like, it's just that memories and experiences. So family memory night is like that. It's to bring everyone back in and we're going through like these old pictures.
And how we do it is we just cast our phone up to our TV.
Yeah. So not looking at a little baby screen.
Yeah.
But like the videos are so fun and the kids love watching themselves.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's such a blast. But
what made you think of that?
So we were doing that the other night and I came across some of our Hawaii pictures.
Yeah.
As I was scrolling through and then I was just thinking,
our Florida ones from like years ago.
Florida. So then I started thinking about our vacations, that we take, and it just kind of this spiral. This is where I was going with this family memory night, but it brought up that memory, and I was like, God, we are pretty good travelers.
I mean, pat myself on the back.
Yeah, I'll give you the most props for sure because I'm not a planner. So behind the scenes, my wonderful wife is kind of the anchor of that. But I was like, what makes us pretty good travelers? I was like, why are we different travelers than a lot of people, it seems like.
Yeah.
So I'd like to talk about that today.
Yeah. I mean, and by being different travelers, by having these tips and tricks, we can have some pretty extraordinary experiences and vacations that I'm sure from the outside looking in, it seems like we spent $20,000 on a vacation, right? And we didn't. And yet we're having probably a better vacation than someone that did spend $20,000.
Yeah. Well, and we've always been pretty thrifty, pretty scrappy, just because of our background.
Gathered that yet.
Right. And if you have listened to some of the previous podcasts, one of them we did talk about how we build our vacation fund, which just in a nutshell, real quick, it's, any money that comes in, we have multiple accounts. Any money that comes in, we basically, separate that out based on what we set up. So our vacation fund, we decided we put 10% of our money in vacation because that's how important vacation was to us. We used to put less in. And then it was almost a little discouraging when you'd see the account and like, well, we can't
really do anything.
Do much.
We're driving to Des Moines, I guess.
Yeah. Like, your bubble is way smaller when that fund is so much smaller. But I remember when we decided that and we're like, if that's in there, it's going to be so much easier to take a vacation. And It is.
Yeah. Well, adventure is one of my like core values.
Mm-hmm.
So for our family, that higher percentage allocated towards vacations is because it's part of my core value, right? So, you know what your core values are based on what you spend your money on, right? So we spend our money on health, fitness, travel, and those are our core values, right?
And if we don't take it off the top, it's so much harder to save it later.
Oh, yeah. Or
like almost impossible.
I feel like a common theme in America is put it on a credit card and then spend 2 years paying off a vacation that you took.
Not interested.
It just doesn't sound, it's just like not as enjoyable when you're there because you know you have to then pay that off over the course of X amount of time, right? So I feel like it takes that guilt away. It takes that anxiety.
Right. So then when you are like, say something comes up while we're on vacation, it's like, oh, this opportunity. You're not like, we can just charge it.
Right.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, that's covered. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That is so much more fun.
It is really fun.
Really the ultimate travel hack number one
is budget ahead of time. Well, shave money out of your income because you can live off less. Right. And that's kind of why, like we talked about in that previous episode.
Right.
Is if you take it out of your expenses ahead of time and it's somewhere else, it's pretty easy to live off of what's left.
Yeah.
Everyone can do it.
Absolutely.
It's just a matter of planning ahead. So
speaking of credit cards, I feel like travel hack number 2 is a great way to, maybe earn money. How would you say that? Like
take advantage of something that you're already doing.
Ooh, that's good. I like that.
Right? Like, why not get rewarded for money that you're already spending?
Okay.
So we have 2 cards that pretty much cover all of our travel needs. And I will say, I'm not here to promote specific cards or do, tell you what to do in regard to that. What we have done and what works for us is I believe American Express has the best programs for rewards of any credit card company.
Yeah, they are good.
And some people will even just use like a generic American Express. So like a platinum card or something like that. We have a Hilton that we've had since 2014.
Yeah.
So like 10 years. And then we have a Delta that's newer for us. And so between those 2 things, you're earning status, you're earning rewards, you're earning perks. And do you want to explain how we do that without going into massive credit card debt?
Yeah, it's actually really easy. So we put everything we possibly can that we spend in our normal life onto, so like our Amex is our personal account essentially. Mm-hmm. So it's our bank account, right? Mm-hmm. So we do groceries, any bills we can, anything like that goes on the American Express. Mm-hmm. And then we have weekly meetings between us, but we do it weekly. You could do it monthly, just monthly at the latest, is you go back in and you pay that off every month. Like we do not ever carry a balance on that. And we also know kind of where we're supposed to be for spending. So we're not just going out and let's go buy all new clothes. Let's go buy we're pretty disciplined in that because we've been through this. We've been through the credit card debt thing and we're we're very conscious of it.
Yes.
But like we know what we spend. We know what we spend at the grocery store. We know what we spend on gas. And that goes on the Amex. And everything we do, points accrue, pay it off, no interest. Bam. I mean, at the end of 10, 11 months, it's
kind of like free money. I mean, that's especially if you don't carry a balance. If you're carrying a balance, you're not getting the most out of it.
Right.
Like you're never going to get the free hotel nights that you get are going to cost you more because of the balance and the interest you paid than it's worth. So if you're not disciplined enough to pay it off every month, I wouldn't recommend this for you, but
correct.
I do, you guys you're smart and you're there and you're you're going to pay it off every month. So
yeah. So we take it a step further, and because we do have multiple businesses set up, we do the exact same thing with each business that we have. And what we do is we have a different card or different promotions essentially for each thing that we have. So like I said, our personal one is Amex. We use that mostly for hotel rooms.
Yeah, because it's a Hilton.
Yeah, it's a Hilton. So we're earning points. And then if we want to take a quick trip down to, Kansas City or wherever, chances are we have free hotel nights.
I don't know. Besides from our trip, I don't know the last time we've paid for a hotel room for our family. Like, I couldn't even tell you. Maybe when we went to Great Wolf Lodge, because it's not a Hilton. So we had to like pay for a Great Wolf Lodge, right?
Yeah.
But like outside of that, I mean, what's great about that card is almost every smaller town even has like a Hampton Inn.
Oh,
or something,
the Hilton family. And I know some friends of ours do Marriott and they love that. So like, pick your poison, whatever you like.
Exactly.
But the thing I also like is a lot of times it seems like our points go farther than our dollars would.
100%. Yeah.
Like that to me is like such a stronger leverage than just like, oh man, let's spend $260 a night, or, this means nothing to the listeners, but like, or 46,000 points. Like,
right. Yeah.
So that way too. And in different parts of the world, your points go different as well. So we learned that.
Well, and I mean, this goes into our hacks that we're going to get into with travel, but we also, I just lost my train of thought. It went out the station. It came in.
You want me to just
and it went,
bring it back somewhere else here?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway,
wrap it back around.
We're getting down like I said, we're not promoting anything in particular. We're not getting paid for any of this. But like Hilton is one we use. Another one we use is just basically for points, and you can convert them to, you can get cash back, or a lot of times what we do is we convert them into gift cards.
Because it goes further than cash back. Once
again, it goes further. So we save up all year. And then come Christmas time, or actually, what is it, like a month?
Like October.
Yeah, October. Usually. We cash those babies in. And I mean, oh my God, we'll get tons of gift cards. And then you can either give them as gifts, or we'll like use them for Christmas. Right. So instead of spending our own cash, it's like money we've earned. It's kind of like free Christmas presents. It's crazy.
I remember my train of thought. It came back to the station.
I knew it would.
So with the same credit card, we're not only earning points, but there's also like other little benefits with the card. So, like when we went to Hawaii, and we're going to tell you guys about all of our little secrets we did for Hawaii. But when we went to Hawaii, it was like if you charged things for your room onto that card, because it's a Hilton, right? And we stayed at a Hilton, you got up to a $250 credit. So like we knew we could spend $250 at the resort for free.
Yep, right.
So it was like coffees every morning and lunch by the pool. And like we just charged it to our room because we knew that up to $250 we were going to get a statement credit back. So
right. And I think Turo, we rented a Turo vehicle. They had the same thing. They had a promotion where it's like rent it on Turo and we give you whatever $50 back or something.
It was $100 statement credit if we rented a Turo through the rewards platform. So we were already going to rent a Turo. And so we just did it through that link instead of not through that link.
Yeah.
And paid with that card. And then you get $100 statement credit. So it made that cheaper.
I know, that was awesome.
Yeah. And sometimes they'll have like retail coupons on there too, like Under Armour outlet or whatever, Under Armour store. And so it's like a $50 statement credit, or it was like a $10 statement credit if you spend $50. Well, you can't buy a pair of tennis shoes for under $50. So it's might as well get $10 off for free,
Yeah.
So stuff like that. In addition to all the travel benefits.
So it's kind of knowing then, like, I guess another like sub hack is what you're saying is to know all the limits of that card.
Absolutely. Well, because if we didn't know about the resort credit, we wouldn't have charged stuff to our room.
Well, and you have to like add it to like you're gonna use it.
Yeah, they're sneaky about not that one, but some of the like the retail ones.
Yeah,
you have to like save it to your card and then use it. So,
because they're not in business to save you money. I mean,
Right.
you got to have some work, right, involved with it. But
yeah, they just want you to use their card.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, for sure. We wouldn't have done that because we're frugal. So we wouldn't have been just like buying, lunches
Right.
by the poolside because we're so cheap. So,
But I will say,
fun.
do your due diligence on the cards. All of them are different. They give you different points. Like everyone's shopping and buying habits are different. So
Yeah.
kind of based on that is what you want to match with your card, right? So
Well, and so we have a Delta card and we also have a Southwest card. And that's important to know too, is what airlines fly out of your airport
oh yeah,
and go to the most places, or what airline do you find yourself flying most of the time, or would you like to fly most of the time? So we don't fly Delta most of the time because there's not as many options out of Omaha,
mm-hmm.
and it's usually more expensive. But
Right.
with this card, it actually makes it less expensive. So, and I don't mean the flights are cheaper, but the benefits.
It's all like the ancillary things. And the
Yeah.
benefits.
So like for the $50 more the flight might cost, your luggage is free, which you would have to pay for
There's
on another
50
flight.
to 80
right.
bucks,
So
whatever,
it
yeah.
balances all out.
priority boarding, like you get all these other things,
Yeah.
which is great.
And one of the little benefits that you get is with this card is we get to go to the lounges, the Delta lounges when you're flying Delta, right?
Talk
and
about
I'm
feeling bougie. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, whatever. Because I've literally never been in a lounge or at an airport lounge. And so we have this new card and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go into the lounge and check this thing out. Like, oh my God, it was amazing. I was like, what have I been missing my whole life?
I remember you telling me about it, and I'm like, tell me about your trip, not about the airport lounge. Like you were so excited.
I was because, okay, I got latte. I got a full buffet of food. And you know how much I would have spent at the airport?
Oh, at the airport?
On those two things? Just on
yeah.
a meal and a coffee would have cost me $40, right? At least. And so the lounge just saved me $40, and I don't have to wait for people.
More comfortable too, right?
Oh,
There was way
it's
more
so
comfortable
nice. You
seating.
can charge your phone. It's quiet. It's just, I was like, oh my God, how have I not experienced this? I'm in my 40s and this is my first time experiencing this. So, that was kind of one of those little perks that I thought was stupid. And then now I'm obsessed.
That's funny.
So look for things like that too. And then, so we have a Southwest card, and Southwest is good for us because it flies to a lot of the little cities. And we have a couple properties and some smaller towns, and
Well, Southwest is good for us just as individuals. I don't like it for families.
Well, yeah.
Because if you've ever flown Southwest, I mean, you don't ever sit together.
Right. It's frustrating,
But
with
that's-
5 people.
Right. So keep that in mind, or, whatever airlines are in your area. But
Yeah. So it's important to choose which card. And if you have a business, get a different one for your business than for your personal. Obviously, you're supposed to anyways, but I mean a different rewards.
Right. If you want to go, I think we've said this before, you want to do if you're Disney people or whatever, maybe get a Disney card or figure out how to earn more things to Disney on what you're already spending.
Yeah. And I remember we looked into the Disney card because we were going to do a cruise or something. And it's better to do a cashback card than the Disney card from my experience.
Get as much for the dollars you would spend.
Yeah, it was 1%. Whereas you can find cashback cards for 1.5%, 2%, and then just spend that money on Disney.
Right.
So, does it take some time to dig into the benefits? But I think it's really worth it once you know what you can get out of it. So
yeah, I love that travel hack. That's a good one. Earn extra money for things you're already spending on. Why not?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's see. We did that.
So, how do we save money on food when we travel?
Well, might not be for everyone.
Yeah.
But we
this is when we travel with our children. Clarification.
Yes.
This is not when we travel just the two of us.
Right. When we travel with our kids, so we have 3 kids, food gets expensive, and they're getting older, which means food keeps getting more expensive because they eat more. No one told me that.
Yeah, they think they're adults.
Right. I thought they could just keep ordering off the kids menu forever until they moved out.
You're still going to eat chicken fingers, but now it's adult chicken fingers,
Right.
and you get one more, and it costs double the price. Who told us this?
So what we do is, we might spend a little bit more on a hotel room. Well, a little more points, whatever.
Right.
But we always look for something with a kitchenette or a way to make our own food. And then, with today's day and age, like you can DoorDash, you don't have to go grocery shopping. You can have stuff literally delivered the day you show up. So we order food, we plan our meals out a little bit, and not every meal. Like we're not crazy going like, we're not going to eat out. Like that's part of vacation, right? Like that experience, but we're not going to eat out.
And we know ourselves. We know that we're pretty spontaneous and we can make plans and have intentions, but they change and adjust.
Right. And if we're going to go like on a full day excursion, I'm not going to pack lunch and take lunch and like we're going to eat lunch there.
Yeah.
So we try to be realistic about it, but it's like breakfast, for instance, you almost always wake up at your hotel.
Yeah.
And breakfast is expensive. So like, why not buy some eggs, like breakfast was a no brainer for us.
Yeah.
So we do breakfast and then we try to do just a couple dinners because you get wiped out during the day on vacation. And it's like, we're going to be back here anyway, chilling. Like, let's make an easy dinner.
Easy food. I mean, like one that our kids like freaked out over. They thought it was like the best thing ever. Weird. And it's like, okay, just rice, stir fry vegetables and some chicken and a Asian sauce. It was like the easiest, cheapest little throw together thing. And they were like, we need to eat this at home. And we're like, we have all this at home.
I know. So don't make it over the top. Like you don't have to have like kebabs or, something crazy. But
I mean, spaghetti, right? Like just make it simple. Yeah. But so I got onto Walmart.com because we knew where we were going. So it kind of just depends if you know the grocery stores, look around. So it takes tiny bit more planning. So I knew there was a Walmart by the airport. So we logged in. I said, we're going to pick it up. We knew when our flight was getting in. So I was like, well, we'll plan to pick up the groceries an hour after that because we got to go get our car. We got to get our luggage and then we'll go to Walmart. So that's what we did. And all of our groceries were ready for us. We just picked them up and then went to the hotel.
It was awesome.
No grocery shopping. No. Now, towards the end of our trip, we went back and did a little bit more grocery shopping because the kids punished.
Well, that was a long trip too. Like we couldn't just buy all the groceries. I mean, we were there for almost,
8 days.
So
yeah.
We didn't want stuff to go bad and all that. But then you have snacks too, because
we do get a lot of snacks.
You didn't know this, kids want snacks all the time.
All the time.
Doesn't matter if you just had dinner or breakfast. Like they want snacks.
Well, and one of our little family traditions, and it's kind of a joke, but it really happens, is we have ice cream every day on vacation.
Right.
So we bought ice cream along with our groceries to make sure if we didn't get it out and about somewhere that day, we'd have it at home. It's just kind of our little like fun rule. It's like it's vacation, ice cream every day.
So now if you want to be like diehard and all you need is a microwave, go for it. But a kitchenette makes it a way easier.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to cook in a microwave.
Yeah. Cause then you're not spending any extra money. Well, I mean, for the most part, your food budget is about the same as what it would be when you're at home. Now, if you eat out every meal, that's going to break you as 3 children. And, it's like, I think we ate out a couple times and it was over $100 per time.
Oh, it's minimum on a budget 70, right? Like,
making a meal at home is $15 to $20, right?
So then you can divert that money into experiences or something more fun. But if food is your experiences, by all means, go for it. We're not saying don't go out to eat or whatever, but every meal is it's a lot.
Yeah.
It eats the budget quick.
We would definitely rather spend the money on experiences than food. Mm-hmm. That's just kind of, again, relates back to our values and what we do this for. So,
right.
Yeah.
So that's a great hack. I love that one.
And then going into our, those experiences.
Oh, yeah.
How do we get some sweet deals on some experiences?
I think you should take this one because this is your baby. You're the one that did this well. But I will say, kind of just a pre-note on this, Andrea is awesome at finding like unique, cool experiences. Not just like, oh, this is what everyone on TripAdvisor says to do. Like, let's go do it. Like, we're kind of the other people that are like, I want to find different things. I want to find other experiences. And that's just, we love doing that. So
it all started when the kids were really young. Well, So I own a retail store, and I used to participate as a merchant for Groupon. So I used to offer a Groupon as a merchant. And so then that kind of got me used to the habit of like checking Groupon when I wanted to buy things or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so when the kids were really young and we were going to Florida, the first time I ever did it, we were going to go to Florida. And I was like, I should see if we can buy Groupons in Florida.
Well, because I think we were talking about doing all the part, you know, like we were like, oh my God. And we started looking at the tickets.
Yeah.
And we were not wealthy at that point.
We were pretty poor. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were like, oh my God, this is so expensive.
Yeah. And so, God, I remember our first trip, we did like a CC's Pizza buffet Groupon because it was like $5 a person or something. We did Gator Golf.
Gator Golf was awesome.
The mini golf course. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because these are fun things. Your kids are little, and it was like $12 a person or something.
Right.
Do you remember what else we did?
We did the trampoline park. That was a different one maybe, but I know we did the trampoline park a couple times, different ones.
Yeah, we've found arcade ones.
Oh, man.
We've found, so this last time when we went to Hawaii, we looked it up, and there was a new shop, and it was a arcade that was all like vintage pinball machines.
Hashtag high score.
Oh my God. And then it had a karaoke room, and it was unlimited. So like you could go in and it's just unlimited play. Like you don't have coins, tickets, whatever.
And it's hard to get things to Hawaii. So the fact that there's like this arcade there with all these games is pretty impressive.
Yeah. It was so fun. So that was a Groupon, and that's how I found it. And he even was like, oh, I've only been open like a month. And so like locals don't even know about this stuff. Right.
Yeah.
So it's such a cool way to find unique merchants that are just trying to get their name out there. They're just trying to get people to know they exist. That's snorkeling with the sea turtles and everything. That was a Groupon.
That wasn't an Airbnb experience?
No, that was a Groupon.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Spilled the beans on the next one.
That's the next one. So when we were first traveling, that was like our go-to. So now I check every time.
Right. And a sub hack of that, say you do find one on there, you can call the people, and sorry, Groupon, but you can tell them, hey, I see your Groupon here online. Would you honor it without going through Groupon? Mm-hmm. Because that actually helps the merchant make a little bit more money, and you're paying the same amount as you would on Groupon. Now, not everybody will do it, and sometimes it's harder if you're farther away.
Yeah.
But it is an option.
Yeah. Like we knew we wanted to see Moana 2 when we went to Hawaii because it had just come out, and the kids were like, how cool would that be to see Moana in Hawaii, you know? And we found a movie ticket one on there that it was probably about the same price as buying a movie ticket in the theater, but we got this whole like snack pack kit thing for free. Like essentially.
So snacks, a little drink, and
so it's fun and it's super easy. It's not like this big stressful thing, you know. It's on your phone and you just show it to the people, and everyone's always cool about it. So yeah, that's like our first little hack.
That is good.
Always check Groupon. You just have to change the location to where you're going.
It's a good way to plan your trip, though, too, is if you can find those things. They usually have dates on there, you know, that you have to book. So then you can plan your trip ahead of time and book that stuff, and it's just off your plate. You don't have to think about it when you're there.
That is a good point, though, is some of the experiences. Oh, the pirate dinner that we did. Oh, yeah, that was the kids they just talked about that the other night. Yeah, actually. So that was a Groupon, but it had to be reserved, right? So making sure that you plan, if they require reservations, make sure you plan ahead and don't wait till you get there to call and be like, oh, can I come today? Like, so it takes, you know, a little bit of planning ahead if you book ones with reservations. Like that snorkeling one was that too. But yeah, we went to this pirates dinner and it was so cool. It's like this, you know, dinner theater thing, kind of like Medieval Times, is that what it's called? Yeah, Medieval Times is the night one. But so it was kind of like that. And then this huge pirate ship inside the building. It was fun. And, you know, surrounded by water, and there's all these pyrotechnics, and the actors are really good
It was good
athletes.
audience participation too.
Yeah,
you know,
the pirates would come into the audience, and you were on their team, and I'm like, that was like such a fun experience, and like the kids still talk about it. Our youngest got to go up on stage, like, and it was a Groupon. Like we would have never known about it.
No, we got food. It was dinner too. Like,
it was awesome. So
yeah, that was a great one. So why don't you tell us about another option?
Recent.
Yeah.
What am I trying to say?
Well, it's travel
hack that I found. Like I didn't really realize. So
it's a travel acorn.
it's a golden travel acorn.
Yeah.
We're Airbnb hosts as one of our many hats that we wear. And so I know that Airbnb obviously offers hosting, but there's also a thing on there called experiences. So if you go into the app and it's like at the top, it says stays, and then you put in like, where are you going?
Mm-hmm.
Right next to where it says stays, it says experiences. So I think a lot of people miss it because it's like a tab you have to like click on. And so if you click on experiences.
Well, I don't think people would normally think, I'm going to go look into Airbnb for things to do.
Right.
So,
yeah. And then you search the city you're going to. It's again like individual people hosting these badass experiences that you cannot buy anywhere
usually
else.
Kind of cool, off the grid, random things.
Yes.
Like it's awesome.
So we did in Hawaii, we did a coffee, vanilla, chocolate farm. Like they grew all three of those crops. And this was just like an old burnout high school teacher dude, total hippie, like
living in the hills of Hawaii, like
living in the mountains,
yeah,
on his little farm, like so amazing. Like he was so great with the kids. It was just,
it's so relaxed. I feel like, it's not like this scripted,
right,
like, let's
tour.
go through the line and the tour. Like it was like, hey, I sleep right there, and then here's my farm. Here's where I process things.
Very intimate.
It was very intimate. Yeah.
And I would say every Airbnb experience that we've done, that's how I would describe it.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
It's not this touristy, like follow the rules. Like,
well, because it is like individuals too, like the groups can only be so big.
Yeah.
You're not in 40, 50 people typically,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, hey, I can take 8 people or 5 people.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say this is like a way to be thriftier necessarily, because a lot of them aren't necessarily cheap, but they're above and beyond any other like tour you could do.
Right.
So when we went to Iceland, for example,
Iceland was the first one.
Yeah, I think that was the first one we ever
That was amazing.
did. But that, talk about that experience with the guy, like our guide, and just how.
Yeah, so we wanted to experience, like we were only in Iceland for 3.5 days, 4 days, something like that. And we wanted to experience a lot of the things. And if you ever do any research on Iceland, there's like the whole island is just like amazing things all over.
Yeah.
So we're like, how do we, excuse me, how do we fit this in? Andrea got on Airbnb experiences, found this kind of golden circle tour. Well, there was all these things called the golden circle.
And that's a typical commercial tour.
It is. You can take buses with all the other people. And we're just like, I ask a lot of questions and I'm very curious. And I'm like, I don't get to ask those questions when I'm with all these other people. So Andrea got on Airbnb experiences, found this guy. He's just like, I'll pick you up in my
Land Cruiser.
It's, jacked up on big tires, and we're going to go do the Golden Circle tour. So she booked it, and it was literally him and us and one other girl.
Yep.
Very intimate, like she said.
Yep.
And the guy knew everything. Like you could tell he loved doing this. Took us around, and then he could adjust his tour. That's what else I like.
Yeah.
He's like,
what do you guys want to do?
It's going to be busy here at this time. He goes, so we're just going to go do a different thing.
Yeah, he's like, we're going to go do this one first and come back to this one because then the buses will be gone.
Yeah, he knew when the buses and stuff were going to be around so that he could avoid it. And he knew because he wasn't in a bus, we could get to things closer. We could do other cool things. He took us to off the beaten path things. I mean, it was so awesome. Like that was one of my favorite days there.
Well, and like with that, we found this hidden tomato farm greenhouse in Iceland that he took us to. That was the most amazing experience that we had there. And I never saw that on any tours that we looked into. So I think it's something that mostly only locals know about, because there were no buses that came into there. There wasn't while we were there. And it's a pretty intimate restaurant, and oh my God, it was the most amazing experience. We also snorkeled between the northern and southern. Is that what it is? Northern and southern hemisphere? No.
The tectonic plates.
Yeah, I don't remember. Two tectonic plates.
It's called the
North American and Asian. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's between the North American and the Asian tectonic plates. We snorkeled in this 32-degree water, which wasn't my favorite, but I did it, and the experience was unbelievable. I was just really cold.
It was. So that was an amazing experience we did. But
that was also an Airbnb experience. That was not, and yes, you could buy tours and go through tour companies and do it. But again, it was so different, and they like give you hot chocolate, and they do, they make it more personal because they want to be a super host.
Right.
They want to get the good reviews,
and they want to earn tips.
Yeah. And the companies don't, like the big tour companies don't care about that. Right? They're just like your cattle going through the cattle call. So it's just a completely different way to experience a local community to a different level. It's so cool.
Agree. I love that one. And you might not find them everywhere that you go, but check it out because you never know.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm sure different times of year, different ones turn on and off. And, it's going to be different every time you look. Yeah. So I would check it out for sure.
Okay. So that's an experiences hack. You recently kind of found a airline hack.
I did.
I
don't even remember how I found it.
Tell me about that one, because you did it. I didn't do it all the way. So you're going to be a little more clear on this.
Yeah. So if you want to follow along, I can even walk you through it on your phone. If you're walking on a stair mill or something like I usually do when I'm listening to podcasts. But and sorry if you already know this, but we got to share our little golden acorns in case you don't. There is a thing. So I'm sure people know Google Flights is a thing. But if you go into Google Flights, again, there's a little toggle button next to it that says Explore. So not just for flights, but you just click Explore. Because
Google Flights basically just checks all the normal.
Yeah. It's just searching the internet for, Expedia and all those to tell you. So Google Explore is super cool. You can type in a destination and just leave it open. No dates at all.
Okay.
So again, this is only going to work if you're flexible and you don't have something that you have to do. If you guys are going spring break from this date to this date, it's probably not going to really work.
Sure.
If you have hey, anytime in June or July, we could go on a family vacation. Right. So I would say Google Explore, and I would say, I want to go, you can leave the destination empty.
But you put in your origin.
You put in, we're leaving Omaha, leave your destination open, and say June for a week. Where can I go? So you pick the month and how long. You can do a weekend. You can do a week. You can say 2 weeks, and it says, this is what I want. I want to go somewhere in June for a week from Omaha. And it'll pull up all the top flights that are the most affordable. And then give you the dates. It'll be okay, well, from June 19th to the 26th, you could go to Iceland for $300 a person. I mean, it'll tell you these unbelievable flights on these very specific days. And you're if you're flexible to book your vacation off of that, you can get unbelievable deals. So I was kind of playing around with this because we knew, so every Christmas, we do a trip with the kids instead of presents for them. So Santa Claus still comes to our house, but we do not buy the kids presents.
Right.
And this is the third year we've been doing it. We didn't think we were going to do it this year because we thought our car wash was going to be open. And so it'd be a little chaotic. And so we were kind of bumming out. And then,
so kind of last minute, we kind of figured out, we can do this.
We could go because we knew the wash was delayed and it wasn't going to open. And this was right before Thanksgiving. And so,
we're usually for us where we're at geographically, Mexico's pretty cheap. So it's like Florida or Mexico are kind of like usually your quick, cheap.
If we're last minute and we want to go and we want it to be affordable, it's going to be Orlando or
Cancun
or somewhere in Mexico. Yeah. Those are kind of your two choices. So we were looking at that. I was looking at Cancun, so I left it open. And of course I was looking at down in Mexico and the Bahamas and kind of all that to be like, okay, where could we go? Who has the best flights? What are the dates looking like? And
because on the screen, does it like show you? Is it like little bubbles with the number?
Yeah, you can see the whole map of the world, actually, and then you can kind of zoom in on an area, and it'll show you the price for that dot. Okay. You know, like I'm going to zoom in towards, and we were even looking at Europe because it was like, wow, these flights are actually pretty affordable.
Europe was cheaper than going to Mexico.
Most Mexican flights, it was cheaper to go to Europe on these random. 1 week long flights, right? So we were like, well, man, should we do that? Like, that's kind of crazy to like in 3 weeks be flying to Spain, but like maybe we do it because it's so cheap. So we're looking, and most of them were like, I would say around the $3,000 for our family of 5, which still is like really cheap.
That's
we're like,
good.
Okay, I mean, yeah. And then we were trying to figure out, well, what would we do? And then I just happened to like move the map over enough. I wasn't even considering Hawaii, right? And I moved the map over enough, and it says $1,800. And I was like, what? That's not right. So I like click on it, and sure enough, a flight for a family of 5 to the Big Island.
Yeah.
For $1,800 total.
Ridiculous.
Total. I'm not saying per person. I'm saying total.
That's crazy.
And so I was like, oh shit, we could go to Hawaii for less than $400 a person, you know?
Yeah.
And so then we looked into our Hilton, see what we had. So added benefits with our card is once you spend X amount of dollars in your year, you get free nights. So not only are you getting points, but they'll just throw you free nights too if you've spent enough money.
Right.
Well, when you're putting every single bill on that card,
right,
like it's easy to hit these like preset limits.
Yep.
So we had 2 free nights that we had accumulated on our card. We had thousands of points because we just hadn't really been traveling much. So we had like all these points. So we ended up staying in a 2-bedroom kitchen suite. So like a Hilton Grand Vacation property. And then for half of our trip.
Well, and like we said earlier, we're a little scrappy. We're not just like, I want to be in one place the whole time. We're willing to move, be
flexible.
Yeah, we're flexible. So.
Yeah. And then the other half of our trip. So that was like 5 days we were there, I think, or 4 days. And then the other 4 days we went to just the Hilton.
Yep.
And because we couldn't use our free nights at the one with the kitchen, but we could use it at the other one.
Right.
So the regular Hilton, we had 2 free nights there. Our points covered the rest of our nights there. And then we used whatever points we had for the rest of the nights at the other one. So then again, I think we only spent like $1,500 total.
Yeah.
For 8 days of Hilton stays.
So then like the cost of the flight and the hotel didn't eat so much into our budget, our vacation budget, to where we had more for experiences.
Yeah.
You know?
So then we did the Groupons.
Yeah.
We did the Airbnb experiences. And it was an unbelievable trip. Oh, we did the Turo where we got the statement credit. We rented a yellow Jeep, you know, kind of for the kids. Cause that's like,
right. For the kids.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
For the kids.
For the kids.
And it was super fun. And like, an added bonus for us was, you know, Axel's, company that he works for as a W-2 employee, as, you know, a salesman. He always earns these trips because he's a top producer.
Oh, babe.
You're so good. And we have gotten to know the owner of his company pretty well because we've been on 6 of these trips.
Yeah, something like that.
And so the owner of his company owns a house in Hawaii at the Big Island. And so we actually got to like go over to his house. He loaned us like snorkel gear and beach chairs and
so
all this fun stuff.
And then
gave
he
us
knows,
some local fruit.
You know, like that's to me another little mini hack is if you know anyone there, or get some intel before you go. Like, you know, he's like, hey, you're gonna want to do this. Check this out. Like a little bit of direction.
It was very helpful.
Which is very helpful. Yep. Yeah. Or hey, you want to meet this guy, you know, or something like that. Like, is really cool. Yeah. So
it was so fun.
Yeah, it was amazing.
So we used the $250 resort credit. So like our stay at that resort was free between our free nights and our points. And we spent $250 on property for free. Yep. Like that whole stay was like comped. It was awesome. And it was just because we put our expenses on a card and pay it off every month.
So my second favorite part to that vacation was when we came. So once again, like we put everything on the credit card once again, and then we pay that amount with our vacation fund.
Yeah.
But my favorite part was that we didn't even drain our vacation fund.
That was pretty awesome.
Like it was sweet to be like, oh,
we still have money to go on another vacation.
Right. So it's to the next one, right? Well, like we're just going to keep, it's amazing.
It's hard to spend less than $400 a person to go to Florida. Let alone to go to Hawaii, you know?
Junky airplane.
Yeah.
I won't drop any names.
We're not going to talk about those experiences we've had of the cheap airlines. But so it was just such an unbelievable way to hack our way through our trip to Hawaii. And it was funny because when we booked it, it was like December 9th through the 16th or whatever it was. And this was right before Thanksgiving. So we're talking when we booked it, it was like 2 weeks later.
Like, we're going to Hawaii in 2.5 weeks, kids. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were like, what? And yes, we took them out of school. We're bad parents. But they missed nothing and they were fine.
Well, they all have iPads with school now, so they can do school anywhere.
Yeah. And their teachers gave them some stuff to take and do, you know, which when you have 2 7-hour flights, it's pretty easy to find the time to do that and not break into your vacation time. But I mean, God, I was like, one of your trips that you earned was to Hawaii. And I think we were maybe 40 or 39 when we went on that. And that was the first time in my life I'd been to Hawaii. And then now we're going back and we're taking our children.
An 8-year-old.
An 8-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 15-year-old. Got to go to Hawaii, right? And I'm just thinking, like, when we were here not that many years before, I saw kids at that resort, and I'm like, who pays to bring their kids to Hawaii? Like, I just was like, I could not believe that. Hilarious. And then here we are with our kids in Hawaii. Yeah. But I mean, it's like one of those things, like, if people knew what we paid to be here, they wouldn't believe us. So we wanted to share that with you guys because talk about a golden acorn. Like, we have to plant those seeds beginning of the year, you know, all year long of spending on that card, paying it off, not just frivolously using those points, which we still have fun with them and use them whenever we want, but kind of banking them, saving them. Yeah. And our vacation fund, like these are all like the little seeds that we plant to then say, boom, we're going to go on this dream vacation for like $5,000 total, experiences, flights, hotels for 5 people, you know? And like that, like I said, it would have been probably a $20,000 vacation for anybody else. So
yeah, if we just would have ate out every meal, it would have been that much.
Well, yeah, Hawaii is not affordable. Like they're not known for being an affordable place to vacation, food wise. I mean, even just to go to the grocery store was insane. Like the grocery stores by the resort, because Walmart's pretty far away. Yeah. So our pickup was great. But then like when we needed a few extra little things, I was like, oh my God.
One bag of groceries for $87 was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So
anyway, that's another story. Let's get back on track.
We do our best, right? To be frugal and plan ahead and use our intelligence to our advantage.
Yeah.
So
What else you got for little travel acorns?
Anything?
Anything?
I just thought of another one that we haven't done in a long time.
What is it?
This is how cheap we are. But it was smart. It was really smart. So we knew we were going to go on a Orlando vacation with the kids. And it was January. So here in Omaha, it's freezing cold. You're not thinking about swimsuits and shorts, and they're all packed away
Right.
for the winter. So we knew when we were going, we knew what we needed, and luggage was super, like, it was like $50.
Oh my
we
God.
were going to
I remember
need,
this. Mhm.
we were going to need like 3 suitcases or something. So it was going to cost us $150 both ways, like $300 for our luggage. And I'm just so cheap. I'm like, well, what if we just like shipped our clothes to the hotel? Like what? And then shipped them home. Like what if we just did that? And I think the box cost me $25 and we shipped it to the resort. And I know we got there late that night and it wasn't arriving till the next day or something.
The next day, yeah.
So like that night, but we had the clothes in our carry-on that we needed for like the night, and we had our toothpaste, all that stuff. And then, we received a giant shipment at the hotel.
I forgot about that.
Of our clothes. I don't think you guys are to the point where you need to do this, but
I hope not.
when we were young
if you are,
and we were broke,
you can still go on vacation.
Yes. That's what I did. I shipped our clothes because we didn't need them. So it was like, well, this can take 5 days to get there. Who cares? Like,
Right.
because we're not wearing them right now. And then we packed them up, dropped them off at a FedEx before we left, and got
got
on the
3 or
plane.
4 days later.
Yeah. And it was nice to not have to like wait for check in early at the airport to check in all the luggage,
Right.
wait at the baggage claim for
'cause
all
we
your
had was our
luggage.
carry-ons.
Yeah, we just had our carry-on. So we got in. We could go to the airport a little later. We could go, TSA pre-check.
Oh,
That's
man.
just a requirement. But and then we didn't have to wait for a baggage claim. So it did save us time. It might have been silly, but it worked. And
It did work. I probably wouldn't do it again. It was a little anxious.
not knowing if like we'd have
Right.
all of our stuff.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was a little anxious.
Yeah.
But I will say, I feel like this, and I'm a pretty light packer. The bigger you are, just the bigger your clothes are, which sucks for packing. Like, I'm not a huge guy. I'm 6 foot tall, like not huge, but one pair of my jeans is like, my kids have like 5 things in my same size. So
Yeah.
I like to pack light.
Yes.
Like, I hate dragging luggage around. And I feel like we even went on a small trip with some friends of ours, and we show up with like our bag. We have like one
carry-on.
One carry-on
with
is
all our stuff in
all of
it.
our stuff, and we were a couple days or whatever it was.
It was
And-
one night, I think, maybe 2.
They picked us up, and I remember the wife. She's like, "Where's your luggage?" And we're like, "This is all we're taking." She's like, "That's it," and she has like 2 bags, like
2 suitcases, and
we're
all
like,
this stuff.
We're like, we're gonna be gone for like 2 nights, like no big deal.
It was
But
funny.
we do the same thing when we travel. I mean, we roll things tight. We make sure like we don't overtake stuff, because like I said, I hate having that much stuff. Like, people
Wow.
have so much stuff. You don't need it.
And you buy souvenirs and you want to have room for them, and you don't want your suitcase to be overweight, and there's all those like little things
and I
to
mean,
think about.
you go outside of the airline's like requirements. Well, guess what? There's another $50 or $100 for another bag and another bag, and like,
Yeah.
you don't need it. I'm telling you right now, you don't need it. Take an extra $10. Do a load of laundry when you're there. Like, no one knows you're wearing the same clothes.
Yeah.
Just do a load of laundry.
Yeah. So TSA pre-check, if you don't have that, oh my God, just do it. I mean, and most credit cards, like the ones we're talking about, they even have a credit. If you get pre-check, they'll credit you for paying for it with that credit card. But I remember we got to the airport. I think this was like the second time we had flown after we had pre-check.
Mm-hmm.
And our airport's never busy. And we get there and security is backed up, like double the gate back.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we're like, oh, and we're like, what's pre-check gonna be like? And we go to the line and there's like 10 people in the pre-check line, and we go right through, and I look over at Axel, I go, oh my God, that was the best $80 I've ever spent in my entire life. And like, our flight boarded early or something. It was crazy.
Oh,
And they're
yeah.
like, we get through security And they're like, okay, now boarding. And we're like, oh my God, like there's no freaking way.
We wouldn't have made it.
We would have missed our flight. Like, because I don't know what, I think we just weren't planning on security looking like that. But, and then if you've ever flown through Denver, like their security is never not crazy.
Well, any of the big ones, like I remember Orlando, it was either Orlando or Arizona. And when the kids were little and we're walking past like hundreds and hundreds of people like waiting in line, and we're walking, and we go over to the TSA line. And I remember like Xander, he's like, what are all those people doing? I'm like, they're waiting to get through security.
Yeah.
And he's like, why aren't we waiting in line? And I'm like, oh, you'll see, buddy. And it was just to walk by everyone. I was like, oh, I feel so bad. But at the same time, I'm so happy.
So smart and so happy that we spent $80 to do this.
I like that peace of mind and that comfort.
God,
like,
yes. If you're running late.
No
or
anxiety, you know. Yeah. And then with kids, it's great too, because, you know, going through normal security, take off your shoes, take off this, take everything out of your bags. And your kids never fails. They have something weird in their bag that's going to get dinged. So,
yeah. Like a glass scorpion that they bought as a souvenir. And then TSA thinks that it's a live scorpion.
You have 5 agents going, are you sure there's nothing deadly in the bag? We're like,
what are you talking about?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So your kids get to be on it for free if you're on it, just so you guys know. Yeah. It says up until they're 13, but the reality is until they're 18. So they're just included. They get to go through pre-check with you. And granted, if it's just you, maybe you already have pre-check, maybe you don't travel with your family a lot, like you get it. But if you don't have it, you just don't get how it is a game changer.
It's awesome.
Game changer. So get it.
I know we've been talking about Clear. We don't have Clear yet, but it's just like another step, I think, that gets you even
and I've
quicker.
Never really seen it because, well, our airport doesn't even have it.
Right.
And then, so the ones we'd even use it at are so far and few between for us. Yeah, but if you're at a big airport, large MSA, you guys it might be worth it for you. It's just not for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it wouldn't save us any extra time.
Oh, that's a great Acorn. I like that one too. TSA's changed our life.
Oh my God. What a stupid, simple thing that we were like, why did we wait until we were like 35 to freaking do pre-check?
Right.
Like, and was it annoying to go to the appointment? 100%. I think it took us 2 different times because we had to wait like 2 hours. So it's like waiting in security at the airport one time at this office to get.
Well, and there's like one office. They're like, here's where you have to go. And you're like, that's not close to me, but whatever.
Yeah. And you have to make the appointment way ahead of time. It's almost kind of like getting your passport. It's just all these hoops you have to jump through. It's kind of obnoxious, but once you do it, 100% worth it.
Oh, yeah.
So book your appointment, get it on the schedule. You will be so grateful that you did. So grateful. I just saved you like days of your life in the airport security if you don't already have TSA pre-check. So,
because I feel like when you travel, I don't know why. I feel like 90% of people there, it's their first time traveling. They always act like they have no idea how to travel.
Yeah.
And that's what you're avoiding.
Yes.
You know, to me, it's like, how do I navigate that smoother? Because it's not you that's going to slow you down. It's everybody else. So like if you can just zip around it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Well, and like, I think you were 18 the first time you flew?
17.
I was 16. And for me, I wasn't even going with my family. I was going to Florida for a national competition. And it was the first flight I'd ever been on. So like, again, it's one of those, we do this stuff not realizing that like our kids know all of these secrets already. They know how to travel well.
Another sub Acorn is like, we try to put our kids in charge sometimes. Like when we're in an airport, we're like, okay, we have to go to gate C4. Where is that? And then, you know, we'd be like, why don't you guys tell us? So then they have to look for the signs, like just to get them acclimated. So when they do grow up and start traveling, like they just know how it works.
Yeah,
and then they're not those 90% of people that I feel like that are wandering around going, I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, where am I?
Right.
What day is it? Yeah.
So, yeah, put them in charge, challenge them. You know, like I feel like we're good at that too.
Yep.
And sometimes they fail, which is okay.
Sometimes they fail.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I do. I just, I think our 8-year-old could fly by herself with what she's absorbed from us.
Yeah, I think so too.
Already. So, which means now I don't know if our 15-year-old could. He's so oblivious to life, but
as long as there's a phone charger somewhere, he'd be fine in the airport.
He's good. He will always travel with a power bank to make sure that he always has power. Another on that topic of technology, get your kids Bluetooth noise canceling headphones, kind of like what we're wearing for the podcast, but just the Bluetooth ones, like $30 at Target or something. And they're amazing.
Yeah.
They make the kids so happy to
you don't want to be that person on the plane with the iPad blaring obnoxious bluey whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good way to be a considerate traveler as well. And I mean, I don't know how many times we've gotten compliments from people on how polite and sweet and well-behaved our kids are.
And we're like, they're just normal.
Yeah.
Who knows what I feel like, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good call.
Yeah. So.
Well, I feel like we've got a lot of info out here today.
Yeah. Hopefully at least one of these things you've never heard of, you've never tried, you've never done. And it sparks some curiosity and maybe throws a new adventure your way.
Yeah. I think we should, I want to know what your guys' travel acorns are too, because I'm always looking for more.
Yeah.
If I can make things more efficient or easier or more fun or find these cool things, I want to know.
What were you thinking today? What about this? I do this. We want to hear.
Yeah, we share it. We share it to our Facebook page, please.
Yes.
That'd be amazing.
We always want to be better travelers.
Is there anything we can share? Are you going to put some links up?
I could share the Google Explorer thing, just a direct link to Google Explorer.
Yeah. Or maybe just a quick list. Maybe we should just put a quick list together of Airbnb experiences.
Of things to consider.
Just so a reference list. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. I can do that.
All right. That's your homework.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you, my love.
Yeah. Anytime, baby.
All right. You guys have a great day.
Bye. Thank you for joining Golden Acorns. Remember, the small steps you take today can lead to big growth tomorrow. Keep planting those seeds of potential and watch your life flourish in ways that truly do matter. If you found this episode helpful, share it with someone who could use a little inspiration. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a chance to grow with us. Thanks.